Some children don't lose their youth in a sudden, noisy event. They outgrow it quietly. No one actually tells them they are becoming an adult. They simply look around one day and realize that someone has to be responsible, and it might as well be them. Psychologists call this parentification. It happens when a child is explicitly or implicitly expected to manage emotions, either their own or an adult's, long before their brain is developmentally ready. This creates a severe psychological vacuum in the home. This flowchart shows how the young brain physically adapts to that vacuum. Notice how incoming elements, the child's own basic needs for comfort or attention, are forcefully routed to the very bottom of the priority queue. Meanwhile, immediate external problems are fast-tracked straight to the top. As those external problems accumulate, the personal needs at the bottom are compressed under the immense weight, hardening into a dense, load-bearing foundation. These children were not born naturally strong. They manufactured that capability out of strict necessity. This early adaptation ensures survival, but it creates a specific kind of internal friction. It produces adults who are remarkably reliable and capable, yet they carry a profound, silent exhaustion, one that persists even when there is no immediate crisis to solve. When consistent support is absent from a child's life, the developing brain initiates a protocol called survival independence. It simply stops expecting comfort. The child stops asking for help. They learn to handle every crisis, every emotional spike, and every logistical problem completely alone. They do this even when there are adults nearby who should theoretically be stepping in. Fast forward to adulthood, and this manifests as extreme composure. To the outside world, they look remarkably capable. Internally, they struggle to trust any form of support, viewing all help as highly conditional and entirely temporary. Developmental psychology refers to this uneven neurological growth as split maturity. This chart tracks a single subject's development over time. You can see the line for logic and responsibility spikes rapidly upward in early childhood, while the capacity for safe dependency flatlines right at the bottom. Look at this massive gap between the two lines. That negative space represents a paradox. The individual possesses intense adult wisdom and rapid problem-solving skills, existing right alongside deep, unmet feelings of guilt and emotional unfulfillment. Because of this split, they are highly functional and deeply reliable during an active crisis, but when things calm down, they are completely unequipped to safely meet other people in normal everyday life. This inability to relax points to how chronic early stress physically rewires the nervous system. People who grew up too fast usually feel deeply uneasy doing absolutely nothing. They only feel useful when they are actively needed. To their brain, rest is neurologically linked to danger. In their early environment, periods of calm were rarely safe. They were the quiet window right before a crisis hit or a mood swung. To navigate that unpredictability, they develop guarded empathy. If we map the nervous system as this top-down radar interface, you can see how it works. When tiny shifts in mood appear as incoming pulse markers, the center point immediately locks onto them, reading the room and anticipating problems before they even happen. But running this emotional radar is exhausting. To survive the constant scanning without being entirely drained, the system throws up an armored barrier, deflecting those pulses and protecting their own energy. They know exactly how much it costs to care without a shield. This constant scanning for external shifts eventually shapes how you view your own presence. If safety depends on maintaining the equilibrium of others, then needing something for yourself feels like a disruption. It creates an internal belief that being cared for is synonymous with being a burden. Operating under that logic, they constantly minimize their own needs. They apologize for wanting basic support. When someone actually tries to offer them genuine care, it doesn't feel comforting. It feels like a foreign, incoming threat. Between the relentless vigilance, the emotional armor, and the deep guilt associated with needing help, the individual is trapped in a state of permanent biological alert. Their body simply cannot accept that they are currently safe. If you recognize these patterns in yourself, modern psychology offers a crucial perspective. It does not call you broken. You do not have a defective personality. Your nervous system successfully and brilliantly adapted to immense early pressure. You learned responsibility before you learned safety. You prioritized strength over softness because your survival required it. Healing from this does not mean shedding that hard-earned strength. It does not require you to lose your capability, and it certainly doesn't mean becoming weak. Healing is the intentional process of updating your nervous system. Like a tightly compressed spring that slowly uncoils, it is teaching your biology to recognize that the environment around you has changed, and the intense pressure is finally gone. True recovery is the profound, quiet realization that the danger has passed. The weight you carried as a child can be put down. You are, at long last, allowed to rest.